He tracked every dollar for 30 days. He thought he'd be proud. Americans underestimate their own spending by 24 to 28% per NerdWallet. Not their mortgage, not their car, their small stuff. He opened the app on a Tuesday and started writing it all down. Coffee here, a delivery fee there, a subscription he forgot about. Nothing big, nothing that felt like real money leaving his hands. 30 days later, he added it up. $600 gone. That number didn't get there by accident. Somebody designed that. The average American made 9.75 impulse buys last month. Each one felt like nothing. $28.90 on average. Add it up. That's $282 in stuff nobody planned to buy. Per the Slick Deals annual consumer survey, every single year, like clockwork. And that's just the impulse number. That doesn't touch the subscriptions. Consumers guess they spend $86 a month on subscriptions. They're wrong. The real number is $219 per C+R Research 2025. That gap, $133, just evaporates every month, automatically. 42% of consumers are still paying for a sub they forgot about. 86% have autopay turned on. That's not convenience, that's the whole plan. They engineered the math so you'd never feel the money leaving. And it worked. He found 3 subscriptions he hadn't used in 4 months, still charging. A gym membership he thought he'd canceled, $69, still going. 67% of gym memberships in America go completely unused, per Health and Fitness Association. Americans waste $1.3 billion a year on empty gym memberships. $1.3 billion in memberships for nothing every single year. But that's not the part that should really bother you yet. The delivery fees. That's where it gets genuinely hard to look at. He ordered from DoorDash 3 times that month. Thought it was $37. The actual cost was $63.21 per order, per self-financial. That's 71% more than the restaurant price for the same exact food. A $9.85 Chick-fil-A order costs $23 on Grubhub. $23 for a $9 meal. That math doesn't happen by accident. Senators Warren, Casey, and Lujan called it out directly. Hidden fees, inflating orders 95%. DoorDash announced $1.1 billion in stock buybacks the same year, February 2024. Uber did $7 billion in buybacks that March. 1 month later, same year. They're not struggling. You're funding the buybacks, one delivery fee at a time. And there's still one more layer underneath all of this. Hang on. The coffee. He tracked that too. A daily $4 cup every morning. $4 sounds fine. Sounds like nothing. That's $80 a month. $960 a year on one daily habit. One? Now add the impulse buys. Add Add the subscriptions, add the delivery markups. The average American is spending over $3,381 a year impulsively. That's per Slick Deals 2024, not their rent, not their car payment. Just the stuff that felt invisible, the stuff that didn't feel like spending. 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck in 2025, per PYMNTS intelligence. Not because they don't earn enough, because something is quietly draining the account. 56% of Americans couldn't tell you how much they spent last month. Not an estimate, the actual number, they have no idea. Per penny hoarder. 75% have a budget, 83% still overspend anyway, per Nerd Wallet. The plan exists, the money disappears, and nobody's confused about why anymore. He wasn't careless, he was running a system designed to keep him blind. The system doesn't need you to be reckless, it just needs you to be busy. Busy enough to not check, tired enough to not question. That's the whole setup. Autopay removes what researchers call the pain of paying. That's a real term. Every tap, every saved card, every one-click checkout is engineered friction removal. When paying hurts less, you spend more. They know this. They've funded the research. Digital wallets, stored payment info, auto-renew. Each one a layer of designed blindness. He found a charge from 11 months ago he didn't recognize on his statement. 11 months, roughly $200. Gone before he ever thought to look. 40% of all online spending now comes from impulse purchases, per industry data. Not planned purchases, impulse. 40 cents of every dollar spent online was unplanned. In grocery stores, that number hit 62%. 62 cents of every dollar. The end cap display, the checkout lane candy, none of that placement is accidental. Every square inch is a revenue decision. 36% of Americans say most of their purchases are unplanned, per Capital One shopping. Most, not some. Most of what they buy wasn't on any list that morning. And 72% of online shoppers pulled the trigger because of an advertised discount. The discount made it feel smart, responsible even. They weren't winning. They were spending money they didn't plan to spend, on schedule. He found the pattern around day 12. 3 p.m. hunger, open DoorDash, order. Not because he was starving, because the app was there. Saved card. One tap, that's not weakness. That's a $2 billion user experience engineered around that exact moment. DoorDash captured 67% of all US meal delivery sales as of March 2024. 67%. One company, controlling 2/3 of a market worth $36 billion. They spent millions on Super Bowl ads that year. Clooney, McConaughey, Bradley Cooper. Not to tell you about the food, to make you feel like delivery is normal. Like it's just what people do now. Like picking up your own food is inconvenient. 40% of people aged 29 to 44 use a delivery app weekly, every week. And 85% of all DoorDash adult users are under 44 years old. That's not a coincidence. That's a demographic strategy built around your paycheck cycle. He looked at his subscriptions again, counted 6 active, recognized 4 of them. 2 were ghosts, services he'd signed up for during a free trial, both still running. The free trial is the oldest trick in this playbook. It works every single time. Sign up to try it. Forget to cancel. The company banks on that gap. And that's not even the part that should really bother you. There's still more. The FTC received nearly 70 complaints per day in 2024 about subscription traps. 70 per day, up from 42 per day in 2021, growing every year. People trying to cancel, being sent in circles, talking to agents for unreasonable amounts of time. The FTC finalized a click-to-cancel rule in October 2024 to address exactly this. It required canceling to be as easy as signing up. Common sense, right? An appeals court blocked it. The 8th Circuit. The rule never took full effect. 70 complaints a day. Rule blocked. Companies counting on you, never finding a way out. He tried to cancel 1 subscription that month. Got transferred 3 times. Took 40 minutes. 40 minutes to cancel something that took 30 seconds to sign up for. Not an accident. 1 in 3 Americans admits making a purchase they knew they couldn't afford last year. Knew before swiping, still did it, because the friction was gone and the dopamine was there. 84% justify unnecessary purchases with "I deserve it," or "I'll treat myself weekly." The system didn't make them weak. It made "I deserve it" feel like financial reasoning. He sat with that for a minute. $600. No single catastrophic purchase, just drift. Drift designed by people who studied exactly how much drift they could engineer per user. Now look at this from their side. That's when the whole thing changes shape. From their side, your confusion isn't a bug in the product, it's the product. Every forgotten subscription is a revenue line that costs them nothing to maintain. Every delivery fee you don't question is margin they didn't have to negotiate for. Every impulse buy you regret is a sale they already booked and won't reverse. They didn't trick you once. They built a system that tricks you on autopilot. Autopilot runs on your saved card, your stored address. The pain of paying was the only thing standing between you and all of this. They removed it, deliberately, with billions of dollars of behavioral research behind the decision. A 2025 study in Advances in Consumer Research confirmed this isn't speculation anymore. Consumers keep paying for subscriptions that make them feel good, even when the math doesn't add up. Emotional value, social value, the feeling of having it even unused. They monetize that feeling. 67% of gym memberships go unused. The gym isn't confused about this. Their entire business model assumes most members won't show up regularly, by design. If every member actually came every day, the gym would physically collapse. No space. They sell more memberships than they could ever serve. That math only works if you don't go. He looked at his gym app. Last check-in was 9 weeks ago. Still paying $69. $69 a month for a building he visited twice in 2 months. His money, their math. Now look at the delivery apps from their angle. The markup isn't covering driver pay. DoorDash announced $1.1 billion in stock buybacks in February 2024. Uber Eats initiated $7 billion in buybacks in March 2020. They're not reinvesting your service fees into driver wages. Senators put that in writing. Warren, Casey, Lujan sent the letters, asked for a fee breakdown, never got a straight answer. The fee structure is intentionally confusing, confirmed by the senators' letters, not conjecture. A meal that costs $9.85 at the counter lands at $23 delivered. That gap didn't go to the driver. A significant chunk went to the platform. Every order. And the subscription economy is projected to hit $2.1 trillion globally by 2025. $2.1 trillion, built on the behavioral blind spots they engineered into the checkout flow. Loss aversion, sunk cost effect, status quo bias, those aren't accidents, those are features. Canceling feels like losing something, even something you never use. They built that feeling in. He understood it now. It wasn't that he was bad with money, he was outmatched. Outmatched by teams of engineers whose only job was to reduce his cancellation rate. Whose only job was to make sure he never noticed the charges until they compounded. 52% of income goes to essential spending for the average American household, per BLS 2024. Housing, food, transportation, that's before any of this invisible layer even starts running. The margin left over is thin, and they've built entire industries to capture every dollar of it. Total U.S. credit card debt hit $1.28 trillion in Q4 2025. Per the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, $1.28 trillion on cards. Not mortgages, credit cards, the small purchases, the recurring charges, the delivery fees. Stacked on a card, earning interest, while the company that charged you buys back its own stock. He sat with that for a long time. Then he looked for a way out, a real one. There's actually one. It doesn't require a guru. It doesn't require a spreadsheet color-coded system. It requires knowing one thing they've never once put in a commercial, and you'll see why. They're counting on you not knowing the rules. Let's change that right now. The tools exist. Federal law backs most of them. You don't need their permission to use them. He found 3 moves that actually worked. Actionable today. No credit score required. Not blog post advice. Not cut the coffee. Specific mechanisms with specific names behind them. The kind of thing that makes a customer service agent go quiet for a second. There's actually a way out of this. A real one, not a mindset shift. They're counting on you never finding it. That changes right now. Step 1, pull the last 30 days of PDF bank statements. Not the app feed, the PDF. Not what you think you spent. What the statement actually says. Those are different numbers. NerdWallet found Americans underestimate their own discretionary spending by 24 to 28%. That gap is the enemy. You can't fix what you're measuring wrong. Start with the real number. Go back 30 days. Categorize every charge. No exceptions. Coffee counts. The $2 fee counts. Most people stop here because the number is uncomfortable. That discomfort is the whole point. He did it. Took 90 minutes. Found 4 charges he couldn't immediately identify by name. 4 in 1 month on 1 account that he thought he was monitoring. Step 2, list every recurring charge, every single one. Pull 12 months if you can. Not just the ones you remember, the ones that show up identically every 30 days. Subscription audit. Take the number you think you pay. Now look at the real one. The average American thinks $86. The real number is $219 per C+R research. That's $133 a month missing, $1,596 a year. Gone automatically without a single conscious decision made after the first sign-up click. For every subscription you find that you haven't used in 60 days, cancel it today. Not pause it, not I'll think about it. Cancel. You can always resubscribe in 30 seconds. They made signing up take 30 seconds. Use that same speed in reverse, right now. Step 3, the delivery math. Run it once and you'll never unsee it. Take your last DoorDash order total. Find the same items on the restaurant's own website. The average markup is 71% above restaurant price, per Self Financial 2025. That means a $37 order you thought was reasonable cost you $63.21. $26.21 in fees, markups, and service charges on one order. Pick up 3 times a month instead of delivering. That's over $900 back per year. That one works, but the next one is the one they really hate. Save it. Step 4, the subscription negotiation call. Call the company directly. Say, I'd like to cancel. What retention offer do you have today? Don't ask if they have one. Assume they do, because they almost always do. Retention teams exist for one reason: to keep you from leaving at any cost. They have discount codes, free months, and rate reductions that never appear on any public page. He tried it on 2 subscriptions that month, got 40% off one, 2 free months on another. 40% on a service he was about to cancel. 1 phone call, 4 minutes. They had the offer the whole time. They just weren't going to mention it unprompted. Step 5. The bank statement review becomes a monthly habit, not annual, monthly. Bankrate found only 29% of Americans reviewed their budget in any given 30-day period. 29%. The other 71% are running on autopilot, exactly as designed. Set a calendar event. First of every month, 30 minutes. Statement open, list every charge. Patterns appear fast. The 3 p.m. delivery, the weekend impulse. The app you forgot existed? Awareness alone cuts spending. Not because you become disciplined, because you see the drift. And seeing the drift is something they specifically engineered the checkout flow to prevent. He cut his invisible spending by $240 in the following month alone. Not by depriving himself of anything meaningful, by seeing what was actually happening. That's it. $240 from awareness, from pulling the PDF, from running the delivery math. That's $2,880 a year, from 30 minutes of looking at the truth. And there's one more move. This one is the one that lives in federal law. The one they've never once mentioned in an ad. The one customer service hopes you don't know. This last one isn't on any personal finance list you've ever come across, I promise. They've never put this one in an FAQ, they've never sent an email explaining it exists. Because the moment you know it, their entire autopay architecture loses its grip on your account. It's not a loophole, it's federal law. It's been there the whole time, right there. And you'll see exactly why they never told you. This is where it ends for them. They built the system assuming you'd never read this far. Let's finish it.